Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Marco Collective Gamer 77 here, and today we'll be going over a 1994 release, Aggressors of Dark Combat, or ADK. This, of course, was released during the heyday of the fighting game genre, and also one of the many fun yet quirky games released for the SNK arcade and eventually the home systems. This game is unique in the fact that it's not like your standard one-on-one fighter. Looking at it from a track screens, you're thinking it's going to control and copy like Street Fighter. Everybody, of course, has a different look and a different style to their fighting, but the controls are pretty simple. There's, of course, you can fully move directionally on the stage, which is pretty unique. And there's only three buttons. There's the A button, which you can tap lightly for a light attack, press hard for a harder attack, B lightly pressed is a light kick, and harder press on B is of course a hard kick. Pressing C is jump, and D doesn't do anything. The combinations of A and B plus direction does either a grab or some sort of throw. There's also, of course, combo meters as well in regards to a super meter that you can build up with each character. But I would say this game is actually really unique in the fact that it kind of harkens back to one of SNK's original fighters, Street Smart, which at that time very much similar to this, where you had full kind of control of the stage. It was much larger. You can only control two characters at that time, but also very simple. You had an attack button and a jump button. Here, at least, you get three buttons. So there is definitely some variety in that respect. You also do, of course, have Hushen from World Heroes, who is here as a guest character. But overall, there's about 8-9 characters on the game. You've got Joe, who's basically the Ryu of the game itself. You got Go, who's a thug from Kensai. Lee is a Korean-born martial artist. Kisara is a schoolgirl who's basically looking after, trying to chase Joe after a date, kind of like Mai and Andy. Sheen is a Canadian wrestler. Bobby is a basketball player. And we've got Leonhalt, who's a street fighter from Germany. And as I mentioned, you also got Fuma, who is, again, the ninja guy from World Heroes. You do, of course, see him in that game series, and I'll be doing a kind of a full review of the World Heroes series in a later video as well. Both SNK and ADK developed fighting games with some sort of hook or tack to it. And again, as I mentioned in this particular game, basically the gameplay itself does take the full theme of being able to go around the full stage, but the control is a little simplified. It's, as I mentioned, you got a punch, kick, and then a jump button. You, of course, have some special moves for each character. Blocking is pushing away, so a lot of it is kind of block, block, wait for the combo to finish, and attack. The health bars are really, really long. It's even before Killer Instinct, so there's no rounds. You basically have three health bars. You've got the green health bar, then a yellow health bar, then you've got the last red health bar as well. The the moves themselves are pretty straightforward, nothing too flashy, but nothing too amazing as well. It does its job. The background music is I would say serviceable. Unfortunately, nothing too memorable. As I mentioned earlier, the playing field is kind of structured, kind of like a beat 'em up, possibly even like 3 count bout the wrestling game. There's a little bit more room that you can kind of move into with each game with each character. There is, of course, a grapple system that is kind of similar to some wrestling games. You basically have to approach your opponent, press A and B, and then after actually initiating the grapple, you can then perform a throw, or you can hold the joystick in a few different directions, and you can also, of course, reverse that throw if you're about to be thrown. The game itself is pretty basic when it comes to some of the beat 'em up elements. It is fun in the fact that the characters, while not amazingly designed, it does have some nice animation. The characters are fairly large and they animate pretty smoothly. Very, of course, with ADK, very similar to some of the World Heroes characters, which of course is why Fuma is a guest character. The background does have some kind of movement and animation to it. There's definitely some of the traditional humor from SNK, especially into the win and loss quotes as well. There's also some screenshots before and after the game fight where some of the cast is shown in kind of a miniaturized chibi form as well. And as I mentioned with the gameplay, there is a grapple system, apparently, but not too deep, and also some problems with it as well. I think some gameplay testing would have made this game more of a classic. The gameplay itself is it's unique, but unfortunately nothing to really write home about. One thing I do like about it is that it does have some variety in regards to it's not your standard beat 'em up. So in that case, it's a nice little experiment. And since it is available, of course, on the MVS, the AES, Neo Geo CD, it's also, of course, available on the Switch, PS4, and Xbox. When it's on sale, I definitely recommend it. It's definitely worth a try. If you were lucked out, you are actually able to pick this game up as part of one of the 80K compilations released by LRG or Limited Run Games for the PS4. Um, you definitely don't want to play this game like your standard 2D fighter. Definitely you want to practice with the system itself. As you can see, I got wrecked. I was definitely trying to play this like a Street Fighter, but really it's more like an action platformer in a kind of a Street Fighter vein. And so you definitely want to learn each and every character's moves, since again, as I mentioned, there's only a few special moves, to attack, and a jump button, and then there's definitely some nuances that need to be learned. The combos, when you do them, they're kind of like auto combos. You just press punch, 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 kick, kick, kick. You can do a dash, both forward and back dash. I do find that if you do run towards your opponent and then initiate the attack and it does hit, you can easily get a nice, wonderful kind of auto combo, so to speak. The special moves, nothing again to write home about. It is a fun little title. Would I spend $8 on this game again on the Switch or the PS4 or the Xbox? Honestly, I probably wouldn't, unless you're a fan of SNK games and wanted to try and play something different. But at $4, it is a fun, I would say, diversion from your standard Street Fighter clones. So in that respect, at $4 when it's on sale, I would actually recommend it. It's a fun little game, and if you think of it in that respect or in that sense, um, I mean that is already a deal because otherwise, if you're trying to buy the physical AES or MVS, you're looking to pay quite a bit of decent money. That said, this is just a quick overview in the game. Again, fun game, but only recommend it when it's on sale, when it's on the Switch, PS4, or Xbox online stores. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.